A woman is having a problem with her wardrobe door in the bedroom. Every time a train passes outside the house, the door of the wardrobe would fall off. So she called a repairman to try to fix the problem. The repairman comes, and he sees that indeed the door fell off every time a bus passed by. "Okay," said the repairman, "I'm going to step inside the wardrobe. You close the door behind me until I see if I can detect what the problem is." He steps into the wardrobe, and the woman closes the door behind him. Just then, the husband comes from work, opens the closet, and finds the repairman. "What the hell are you doing here?" the husband asks. The repairman says, "Well, you're not going to believe it, but I'm waiting for a train." One man's marriage has gotten a bit dull, so he asks a friend if he has any ideas on how to add some excitement back to the marriage. "Well," his friend says, "you can always have an affair." "I can't do that. I will always be faithful to her," the troubled man replies. "If you convince her to let you do it, and then it won't be cheating." The man agrees to give it a try. The next time his wife seems to be in a very good mood, he shares the idea with her that a new partner would add excitement. "Honey," his wife says, "that won't help our marriage. Believe me, I already tried it." A man walks into a supermarket. He grabs a bag of dog food and brings it to the checkout. The cashier says, "Sorry, according to the store policy, you need to bring your pet with you if you want to buy food." Then the man, who doesn't have his dog with him, walks away angrily. A few days later, he comes back and takes a bag of cat food. Once again, the cashier points out that he needs to bring his cat with him to buy the cat food. The next day, he comes back with a plastic bag. He asks the cashier, "Could you please stick your hand in the bag?" The cashier does. "What is that?" asks the cashier. "It feels really warm and weird." "Yeah," says the man, "I would like to buy a pack of toilet paper." Bill wakes up at home with a huge hangover. He forces himself to open his eyes, and the first thing he sees is a couple of aspirins and a glass of water on the side table. He sits down and sees his clothing in front of him, all clean and pressed. Bill looks around the room and sees that it is in a perfect order, spotless, clean. So's the rest of the house. He takes the aspirins and notices a note on the table. "Honey, breakfast is on the stove. I left early to go shopping. Love you." So he goes to the kitchen, and sure enough, there is a hot breakfast and the morning newspaper. His son is also at the table eating. Bill asks, "Son, what happened last night?" His son says, "Well, you came home after 3 a.m., drunk and delirious. Broke some furniture, puked in the hallway, and gave yourself a black eye when you stumbled into the door." Confused, Bill asks, "So why is everything in order and so clean, and breakfast is on the table waiting for me?" His son replies, "Oh, that. Mom dragged you to the bedroom, and when she tried to take your pants off, you said, 'Lady, leave me alone. I'm married.'" A doctor started having an affair with his nurse. Shortly after this started, she announced that she had become pregnant. Not wanting his wife to find out, he gave her a large amount of money and asked her to go out of the country, to Germany, to wait out the pregnancy and have the baby over there. "But how will you know when our baby is born?" she asked. "Well," he said, "after you've heard the baby, just send me a postcard and write sauerkraut on the back." So she took the money and went off to Germany. 6 months later, the doctor's wife called him at his office. "Dear, you received a very strange postcard in the mail today. I don't understand what it means." Later that evening, the doctor came home and read his postcard, which said, "Sauerkraut, sauerkraut, sauerkraut. 2 with wieners, 1 without." Once, a doctor asked an old man and his old wife for their health secrets. The old man said, "I'll tell you my secret. I've been married for 75 years. I promised my wife when we got married that when we quarrel, the loser has to walk for 5 kilometers. So I've been walking 5 kilometers every day for the past 75 years. The doctor was amazed and applauded and asked again, "But how come your wife is very healthy as well?" The old man answered, "That is another secret. For 75 years, every single day she has been following me to make sure I really walk the full 5 kilometers. An elderly woman is speeding down the highway when she sees a policeman with a radar gun. The policeman signals her to pull over, then walks up to her and asks her with a smile, "What's your hurry?" "I'm late for work." "Sure," says the officer. "What do you do?" "I'm a rectal distender." "What? A rectal distender? What exactly is that?" "Well, you see," the woman explained, "I start by inserting one finger, then the other. Then I work up to 3 fingers, 4 fingers, until my whole hand is in. I work from side to side until I have both hands in, and then I slowly but surely expand the rectum until it is about 6 feet wide." "And what do you do with a 6-foot asshole?" asks the officer. The lady smirks and says, "I give him a speed gun and put him on the side of the road." Sam goes to a restaurant and he orders a bowl of noodle soup. The waitress brings him a bowl of noodle soup. Sam takes a spoonful of the noodle soup and slams the bowl down on the table. He angrily gets up and leaves the restaurant. The owner of the restaurant sees him leave and he follows him outside. Sam walks down the street for about a block, then he goes up into a whorehouse. The restaurant owner follows Sam into the whorehouse and he asks the madam, "Where did that guy who just came in here go?" The madam says, "He went down to room 12. The restaurant owner goes down to room 12 and yanks open the door. When he gets in the room, he sees Sam in an awkward situation with a whore. Sam looks up at the restaurant owner and asks, "What are you doing in my room?" The restaurant owner says, "You were in my restaurant, you ordered a bowl of noodle soup, and you left without paying for it." Sam said, "I'm not paying for that noodle soup, there was a hair in it." The restaurant owner was surprised and said, "Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you're going to raise hell over one little tiny hair in a bowl of noodle soup when you've got your face in that?" Sam said, "You're damn straight, and if I find a noodle in here, I'm not going to pay for it either." There was an old Iranian who was intensely proud of 2 things: his long white beard that reached down to his chest and his ability to sleep the moment his head touched the pillow. One day, his 3-year-old grandson asked him how he arranged his beard when he slept. Did it go under the blanket or did it remain above it? The old man had never paid attention to this detail, and he confessed he didn't remember whether his beard remained above or went under the blanket. He promised to find out. It was very cold that night. The old man got into bed and pulled the blanket over himself. Then he suddenly remembered his grandson's question. He became acutely conscious that his beard was under the blanket. He lifted it from under the blanket and placed it above it. This made him feel that something was not quite right. So he tucked the beard under the blanket again. But he soon felt it would be better if it were out. In and out went the beard, first under the blanket, then above it, then under once again. The old man spent a sleepless night. The next morning, the first thing he did was cut his beard to chin level, to the great joy of his daughter who, for several months, had been urging him to do just that. Rufus was talking with his friend Sam. He said, "Sam, last night I had the strangest dream. I dreamed that I walked from Chicago to Detroit. When I got to Detroit, I turned around and walked right back to Chicago. I made that walk about 6 times, Chicago to Detroit, Detroit to Chicago." Sam said, "You know, I had a strange dream last night too. I dreamed I was in bed with 2 beautiful women. I was right in the middle of the bed between both of those fine women. I was going front to back to front, backwards and forwards all night long. They damn near wore me out." Rufus said, "I thought you were my friend. You should have called me. Why didn't you call me?" Sam said, "I did call you. I called you 3 times, but every time I called, you were on your way back to Detroit.